we've talked a lot about your opinions of teams that are kind of overrated. Is there a team you think is underrated now?
I think Flyquest is actually a good team. I think they're actually cohesive and they have like pretty good players. I think they're kind of on a similar trajectory as us, I would say, where they're definitely underrated for sure. And I think they're capable of being very good. I pegged them like a bit lower than what they are now, but I think actually like they're pretty solid and they're right around that like third, fourth seed like level of play. It's just consistency for them as well. It's just I think they are definitely one of the top teams in the league. I think this is like the most like close like as far as I can remember like everyone being like near the top instead of like everyone just being shit and there's only like a couple of teams at the top. So it's definitely interesting as a player for sure because there's like really just your dog shit teams and then there's like everyone like in the mix and then there's like one single top team I think right now because I think
that makes it funnier that TSM is at the bottom, man.
Yeah,
makes it funnier. Yeah. By the way, we were referencing this at the beginning of the show, but we actually want to talk about it for real because the problem we have is this, basically. As you can tell, because LCS isn't like the most loved league in the world, we only really talk about the top teams, you know. Like, the problem is because TSM was just, in that sense, irrelevant last split. Like, we actually barely did flame them on this show, mate. We almost never analysed their play because last split they were obviously really horrendous. This time they've made a bunch of roster moves. They're not quite as bad. They've won a few games, but even so, like, give us some take. What is the like? Put it this way, you know what you said about Jensen? Like, maybe in scrims on solo queue he's great.
I mean, I have strong opinions on
TSM ever good in scrims? Like, were any of these ever good?
No. I think, I mean, a couple things really like pissed me off. Like, I think, so when they let go of Huni, they had like two posts, like one saying he's retiring, one saying like he's going to stay on. They're evaluating his options. So I think it's miscommunication there. And then when they're talking about Solo, they're like, we already thought he was like the 7th, 8th best top laner. Go in LCS, like. That's fucking bullshit. Like, just stop right there. Like,
who in the academy deserves a shot ahead of Soul?
I think like Jenkins, Darshan, Tenacity.
Look,
Bradley.
dude,
I've actually pretty high on Bradley.
Yeah, by the way, I've actually heard quite a lot of people, Dhokla, who were actually like industry people, tell me that actually Darshan's pretty good the last year or two. The problem is, he's basically got the same problem you have. People just think from years ago, he sucks now, he can never be good again.
Yeah.
Like, I've heard he's pretty good the last year or two.
Yeah, he's definitely, well, when I was in Academy last split, I think he was definitely like the second best behind me in terms of like just like, there's like intent behind his decisions, like every time like he's making a decision in game. So I could like really feel that. So I was really impressed with like, how he was just like improving because I think previously when he was like a couple years ago like he would do some really like dumb shit all the time and then that would be like his key weakness. I think it's like, well, he's just gonna like make a really bad decision eventually, right? It's like we just wait on that, at least for me. But now I think he's doing a really good job of like making the right choices, punishing properly, like playing waves like really well. So yeah, I mean I think people just really need to like look at the level of play like the players playing at instead of just like what they have in their head. So I think I do a pretty good job of that myself when I'm like playing against players. So I just think people as like GMs and orgs as well really need to do that.
What sure. Do you see? Do you see an upside to Soul as a player, or was this just a factor of him already being on part of the
really
PSM
think it's just
org?
A factor of being there.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean that's just like he's just gonna have to make the most of his opportunity. I think TSM is just like poorly constructed roster. Really, just like I don't really know.
They did get scammed, to be fair. Which
that's true.
Yeah, that's true.
I guess, yeah. True.
I mean,
I do feel kind of bad for them, but it's also hilarious. So
yeah, but here's why I don't know, Monty, because all I have to remember, and if I remember this one detail, I'll never feel bad for them ever. Remember that thing I told you 2 years ago? They were offered a roster of fucking Jensen mid lane, double if would stay as AD carry. They would have had an amazing team like Licorice with the top laner. They had exactly. So the fact that they said no to that team and then fucked all these rosters up is just pure hilarity. It's like they deserve that. That's some karma on the fucking market right there, boys.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. Yeah, so yeah, I think their roster in terms of like players they have and what I don't even know what their goal is to split, like just fucking survive or something. And then yeah, I mean, I'm really interested in what they will do next split because I feel like they're definitely gonna just change roster. Like I think they do that every time, whether they win or lose, just to get better. But I mean,
the angle for me, dude, is that at the end of this year, if people don't know, Spica's contract ends.
Yeah,
and that's the player that you got to keep.
I mean, I'm a friend of Spica, but I don't really know about the situation. But if I had to guess, like, he's gone. He's gone.
He does. Like, I
don't think really, like, unless they pay him like insane amount and they change a lot of things at TSM, I don't think he'll stay there.
I mean, Maple's contracted through the end of next year, which is interesting. It wasn't just a kind of shorter term deal.
Yeah.
I could easily see Spica going to a good team and be relevant, though. I could easily see that.
I'm very high on Spica. I think he's very good. I think he's like insanely team gapped right now. So I feel really bad for him in that regard. Of like,
I mean, when they win, it's because Spica's doing a lot of things early.
Yeah, I mean, I think like even in the games, like he's like pretty much the only one being proactive and like just trying to win. So I feel like every time I watch his game, it's like I just feel really like. I just really feel for him. Like, man, he's just this is not good for him. But yeah, I mean, just gotta make the most of it.
So all you need to know is this: he actually is. If you look, he is now 21 years old. Because you have to understand, he's just gone through 2 of the longest years you'll ever experience as a pro player. Like fucking, it's like that's like 10 years in Attica or something. Like, what? Like, it's like he's been in Baines Pit or something. Like, I haven't even seen the lights. What the fuck?
It's all right. Steve's gonna come by with his checkbook soon, I'm pretty sure. And
dude, even though
the Steve Liquid roster.
Yeah, the good news is at least still have gotten a few mil off like re-sign or whatever. But the sad thing is, he actually essentially got fucked the hardest because remember, he just came in like he wasn't even supposed to be the jungler because Dardoch had that shit in the spring. They bring him in summer. He's really good, by the way. He wins the championship. Like, oh, this is awesome being in TSM. I was waiting for this, and then after that, just out blue balls the whole way for 2 years. Fucking hell, 2 years.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen anything like that, but. Yeah, I mean, I definitely just feel bad for him in terms of like the situation he's in compared to like his level of play. So,
people have said to me that they think Maple has been performing very well in Champions Queue and individually. What have your thoughts been playing against this guy since he came over to North America?
Yeah, I think Maple's definitely good in Champs Queue. I don't think he's like by far the best. I think, but he's definitely like right up there with like best. People playing in Champs Queue because I think there's a couple of people that don't play, but he's definitely a grinder, which I really respect in that regard. Like he's always playing, so I really respect like his work ethic, especially for how long he's played as well. So
he's a mega veteran, yeah.
Yeah, so it's really like inspiring to see as well as like this guy's playing just as much as like anyone, and he's just having fun with the game as well. So I think Maple's like really good. I think, but I think his shampoo like needs to be a bit different. But I think that's like not really his fault. I don't know what the coaching staff is doing behind the scenes there. It's like the Swain pick, like they're playing it a lot, but like it's just being countered, and it's just not like looking too strong. Like sure, will win a couple games, like because the team's ending, but I don't think like the teams are necessarily playing around it well. So like when someone plays around the Swain ult well. Then it looks a lot weaker than what the champ actually is. So I think his potential to be very good is there. It's just it's kind of being gated by draft.
Well, it's all by the way of how much
passive pick, right? Like you're anticipating that people are going to play in the U, and when you're dealing with like their last game with Seraphine and Cassiopeia, it's like how do you place Swain into that? You just
that's what I mean. Like they have like non-committal shit to throw at you, and then you're gonna have to pop your ult eventually, and then they just run away. So it's like your champ looks really weak no matter like how well your lane phase went or anything like that. So it's like it's just a tough situation, and yeah, I mean it's hard to look like cohesive or like good at all when you're just given a bad hand.
Want to see more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or be a pleb and don't.